So hey everyone, welcome back to our 2017 coverage of the GAMA Trade Show here in Las Vegas. You're watching the Dice Tower. I am Sam Healey. This is Jeff from Atlas Games. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, very much.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Now we have this game that you guys have just announced called Witches of the Revolution. Is that correct?
It is Witches of the Revolution. So this is a co-op deck builder.
Okay.
Every player has a deck that is their coven of witches. These covens must collaborate to make sure the American Revolution succeeds.
Okay.
That is how we're going to make all the magic start. It's going to be a secret war against the British, essentially.
Okay.
So everybody's got a deck. Everybody starts with the same deck. We've all got magical capabilities, all of our witches do. So we got a 5-card hand, so draw 5 of them off there, and that's what you've kind of got to work with to start. We'll set this up so that we've got 4 objectives, and this is what we've got to do to win the game.
Okay.
So for us to win this particular game, we got to retake Bunker Hill, relatively mundane, revolutionary business.
Okay.
We also must imbue the Liberty Bell with power. We must also depose the British governor and close an otherworldly portal in Boston.
Interesting.
So each one of these has a recipe that we have to fulfill in order to make that happen. Once all of the counters are gone from a given objective, we get some kind of a benefit, and then we flip it face down, and that's done. So once all 4 of those are done, the revolution succeeds and we win. Okay. All right. So the way we're going to get these, and assume that we take time to put all of these up here, assume a giant stack of counters up here.
Yes.
The real meat of the game is we got to deal with these events that happen, and these are all bad for us.
Okay.
So this is a conveyor belt here that's going to stack up, and we're going to deal with these events as they come.
Okay.
If we're playing a 2-player game, if an event ever gets to here, we lose.
Okay.
All right, so we got to deal with these as they come, and that's going to get harder and harder as we go. If it's my turn, I'm going to look at my hand and try to do either the green thing or the red thing. I got to come up with that many icons.
So you've got to do 4 or 4.
4 brewing or 4 enchanting.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at my hand, and I've got 2 brewing here in my hand, so I am not super well set to address this event. When it's my turn, I can use as many icons as I can. You're limited to contributing 1, so we are badly set with this one to go. So on your turn, we're going to wind up with another one, and these are just going to keep stacking up. And this is actually a disaster for us. These are catastrophes.
So this started off well, is what you're saying.
We are doing super good. The revolution is not in a good state. So this is going to take us 10 of any kind plus the number of players. So we've got to come up with 12 icons total.
And I can only well wait. You can only do 1 now since it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically.
So.
Okay. Wow.
The good news is we can recruit.
Okay.
So this has a slightly different deck building mechanism than many others do, where your deck grows and grows and grows. In this case, you're more like tuning your deck than you are building it.
All right.
So we've each got our own draw pile, our own discard pile. The way recruiting goes is that the cards all have a number of pentagrams on them.
Okay.
So I've got to send a number of pentagrams out to discard forever in order to recruit them back in.
So this guy costs 3, she costs 2.
Exactly so.
Okay.
You get discounts as they move down the conveyor, so this is always reduced by 1, so I can actually send 1 out and get 1 that is just flat out better.
Okay.
And when I recruit them, they go to the top of my deck. I'll get that one next. So that's kind of a nice
that's cool.
immediate gratification thing. In this middle one, I get a 1 pentagram discount if one of my magic icons matches.
Okay.
So I could send these 2 out to get this 3-star one.
Okay.
But that made my deck a card smaller. Right? Because I sent 2 out and got 1 back.
Correct.
The reason that is problematic is every time I have to reshuffle my deck, the moon track moves up and I get another event over and above the one we get per turn, so that stacks up.
Gotcha.
The moon track is bad because this is an extra number of icons we have to play to solve each event.
Wow.
So the more we shuffle, the worse the events get.
Is that just like a wild one?
No,
or
it's got to
just
match
whatever.
one. So this is 5 brewing or 5 enchanting or 13 icons total that we have to come up with. Now, theoretically, we've got better witches.
Yeah.
But it is a tough decision when and whether to recruit, because you know that it's going to make your deck smaller, which you know is going to make things more difficult.
Right.
So that's kind of an interesting...
Now with most, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
With most of the deck builders, once you're done with your turn, you discard the rest of your hand. But I didn't hear you say that.
So the discard is optional, and usually you will not want to discard because that will make you shuffle sooner.
Gotcha.
Although on most turns you will spend most of your hand. You're going to wind up spending, so like most of these events, you're going to wind up spending 2 or 3 cards, maybe as many as 4 if you get particularly devilish events to overcome.
Like this?
Or if you're going to wind up, right, so the stewards all cost 4 to recruit, but they get you 6 icons.
Yes.
They're also very specialized. So all of your starting seekers have a mix of icons, but once you get up to these stewards, they are huge in one way.
Yeah, okay. So that's pretty, there's a lot of neat, interesting mechanisms that are working together there.
And there are interesting decisions with the events because of the way they interact with the board. So there are these Liberty spaces with the Liberty bells, and there are these peril spaces that have the pistols on them. Some of the cards have those symbols. Every time a Liberty event advances to a Liberty space, tyranny increases. That's a way we can lose the game.
Another one.
So this is going to slide up and down between liberty and tyranny. If it ever hits tyranny, the revolution fails and we lose.
Right.
This also serves as a score track. If you win, wherever the liberty marker is at the end is your score for the game. So there's replayability in trying to do better.
Yeah. Cool.
Exactly so. The peril events, if they ever advance to these, you have to banish one of the recruits out of the line. So there are like witch hunter character events that advance to those positions. So often you're in a position of deciding which event to do based on where it's going to advance next.
Gotcha.
Because these catastrophes all have wild face-up abilities that are hosing you constantly until you get rid of them. So do I want to get rid of that ability that's hosing me? Or is it more important to eliminate a peril ability to avoid losing a recruit that we hope we're able to get?
Yeah.
And then the last piece is the way that these events help you clear these out. Anytime you clear an event, no matter which kind of a way that you solve it, you get to pull off one of the tokens that appears on the thing.
Okay.
Right, so if we clear this one out, even if we spend green, we can take a red or a green down off the thing and make progress on the event, on the objectives.
So is that the only way that you can actually pull things off of this?
It is the way that you will do it 95% of the time. One of the cool things about these stewards is they let you pull an objective marker off any of them.
Okay.
But you got to sacrifice the steward forever.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the end game maneuvers essentially, is to clear off your final objectives with these cards that have been super difficult to
Can you only do that once per turn, or can you do it?
You can do this once per steward. You discard the steward forever when you use it.
Okay, if you have more than one steward in your hand, could you use both of them at one go?
Yeah, absolutely so.
All right, cool. So this is Witches of the Revolution. All right, this is brand new, something you just announced, right? So what is the timeline for it?
July is what we think is likely on this one. The final art has come in. We are doing
is that what this
final layout. Yeah, this is final art, essentially.
Pretty close?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very cool. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to send people out to look for these Hounded meeples that we're giving away at the store. So Hounded is a 5-ish month-old release. It's a 2-player asymmetrical game that is super good for coffee shops and just quick play. It doesn't take up very much space. It's super portable. It has adorable little meeples. And so it's got a Master of Hounds and Dogs who is hunting for a fox, but we've released this Mistress of Hounds meeple that you can pick up and just swap in for the Master of Hounds if you would rather play that side. That's only available at retail stores. We're giving them out here to store owners. So if you're looking for that, go out and find it at the store.
FLGS's.
Yeah, man.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us as well. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care now.